this. There comes a time in every woman's life when she realizes not everyone who listens is truly listening. This. Not everyone who smiles wishes you well, and not everyone deserves to know your story. Your story is sacred. This. It carries your pain, your lessons, your strength, and not everyone has earned the right to touch that energy. Today, I will share with you 15 lessons that will teach you how to protect your peace, how to guard your silence, and how to walk in strength that doesn't need to be explained. Stay with me till the end, because one of these lessons will awaken something deep inside you. It might just be the moment you decide, I no longer need to explain myself to be understood. There is a kind of power that cannot be seen, yet it changes everything it touches. It is the power of silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is the space where understanding grows, where emotions settle, and where truth becomes clear. In a world that glorifies noise, constant opinions, endless conversations, and the need to always explain ourselves, silence becomes a form of rebellion, a quiet declaration of strength. When you choose silence, you choose clarity over chaos, awareness over reaction. You stop giving your energy to what does not deserve it. Most people speak to be heard, but few listen to understand. When you stop trying to fill every silence with words, something profound happens. You begin to hear your own thoughts. You notice how often you speak out of habit rather than intention. You recognize how many times you reveal your emotions to people who do not value them. Silence teaches you restraint, patience, and the wisdom of timing. It allows you to respond instead of react, to observe instead of assume. In that quiet space, you begin to realize that not every question deserves an answer, and not every comment deserves a response. Silence is the training ground of the mind. It is in silence that you meet yourself, without masks, without expectations, without distractions. The stillness reveals the noise inside you. At first, it can be uncomfortable. You might feel restless, uneasy, even lonely. But if you stay there long enough, the discomfort fades and clarity appears. You begin to understand that silence is not isolation. It is connection to yourself, to your breath, to the present moment. It is the doorway through which inner peace enters. There is a difference between being quiet and being silent. Being quiet can come from fear. Being silent comes from strength. When you are quiet, you hold your words back because you are afraid of judgment. But when you are silent, you hold your words back because you understand their value. You no longer need to explain who you are or defend what you feel. You realize that your peace does not depend on being understood. The more you practice silence, the more you begin to see how powerful it truly is. Silence protects you from unnecessary drama. It keeps your emotions from being scattered. It gives you the space to choose what truly deserves your attention. Silence also exposes truth. When you stop speaking, you start seeing. You begin to notice how people behave when your energy is calm and withdrawn. You see who grows uncomfortable with your peace and who respects it. In your silence, people reveal themselves, their intentions, their insecurities, their authenticity. Words can deceive, but energy never lies. And silence allows you to see beyond words, beyond appearances, into the essence of what is real. There is also healing in silence. When you stop explaining your pain to the wrong people, your heart begins to recover. You stop reopening wounds for those who cannot understand them. You stop seeking empathy from those who cannot offer it. Instead, you learn to sit with your emotions, to feel them fully, and to let them pass without judgment. This healing doesn't always need an audience. Sometimes it just needs a moment of stillness, a breath, a pause. The greatest transformation happens quietly. Flowers bloom in silence. The sun rises without noise. The most powerful moments of growth in your life will not come with applause or recognition. They will come when you are alone, sitting in silence, choosing not to explain, not to defend, and not to chase. In that sacred space, you meet your true self, calm, grounded, and powerful beyond measure. Silence is not a weakness. It is wisdom choosing peace over noise. And when you master this art, you realize something beautiful. You no longer need to prove your worth, because your presence speaks louder than your words ever could. There is a quiet strength in being open, but there is also wisdom in knowing when to close. Vulnerability is not about exposing everything. It is about revealing the truth to those who can hold it with care. Too often, we give our stories, our pain, and our emotions to people who were never meant to receive them. We speak from the heart, hoping to be understood, but instead we are met with silence, judgment, or indifference. The problem is not in being vulnerable. The problem is in being unselective with our vulnerability practice. Not everyone has earned the right to know your wounds. Not everyone can be trusted with your softness. There is beauty in being transparent, but transparency without discernment leads to exhaustion. When you give too much of yourself to those who do not value it, you start to lose energy, confidence, and peace. You begin to question your worth because you handed your story to people who could not see its value. The truth is your story is sacred. It carries your journey, your strength, your pain, and your healing. It deserves to be shared only with those who listen with empathy, not curiosity, with those who hold space, not judgment. The moment you realize that not everyone deserves access to your inner world, you begin to reclaim your power. Being selective with your vulnerability is not about building walls. It's about setting boundaries. There's a difference between closing your heart and protecting it. A closed heart hides from love, but a protected heart knows how to love wisely. When you become more intentional about who you open up to, you stop leaking energy. You begin to value your silence more than forced conversations. You stop explaining your pain to people who enjoy watching you struggle. You understand that not everyone who asks what's wrong truly cares about the answer. Some only ask to satisfy their curiosity, not to offer comfort. It takes emotional maturity to know when to speak and when to stay silent. The strongest people are not those who share everything. They are the ones who choose when to share and with whom. They know that their emotions are not entertainment. They understand that their truth loses meaning when placed in careless hands. So they guard their inner world not with fear, but with grace. They open up slowly, intentionally, and only when they feel safe. That is not coldness, that is self-respect. When you learn to be selectively vulnerable, you begin to experience peace. You no longer feel drained after conversations. You stop regretting what you shared. You no longer seek validation from people who cannot understand your journey. You start to find peace in solitude, comfort in your own company. You learn that it is better to be misunderstood for your silence than to be hurt because of your honesty. There is power in keeping parts of yourself unseen, untouched, and unspoken. The world does not need to know everything about you to recognize your worth. Every emotion doesn't need an audience. Some moments are meant only for you, your tears, your prayers, your quiet realizations. This. They are the sacred parts of your story that should not be diluted by public opinion. When you keep certain experiences private, you preserve their meaning. You allow them to transform you from within without interference. The right people will never need the full story to understand you. They will feel your truth in your energy, your presence, your calm. That is the beauty of being selectively open. You no longer have to explain your soul to those who cannot see it. The art of selective vulnerability is the art of balance. It is learning to remain open enough to love, but wise enough to protect yourself. It is about understanding that your softness is your strength, but only when it is guarded. Not everyone deserves access to your inner garden. Some will trample it, some will ignore it, but a few will help it bloom. Choose those few. And until they appear, learn to nurture your own heart in silence. Because when you honor your vulnerability, you no longer give it away carelessly. You offer it as a gift, not a plea. And that truly is what makes you powerful. Mastery does not begin with control over others. It begins with control over yourself. Inner mastery is the art of understanding your emotions, directing your thoughts, and guiding your energy, no matter what the outside world brings. It is learning to remain calm when life becomes chaotic, and centered when everything around you tries to pull you off balance. In a world where reactions come faster than reflections, inner mastery becomes a quiet revolution, the ability to respond with awareness instead of impulse. True strength is not loud, it is calm, rooted, and deeply aware. Every woman who seeks peace must first learn to master her inner world. The mind is a powerful instrument. It can be your greatest ally or your most relentless enemy. Thoughts have a rhythm, emotions have a flow, and when you don't understand their movement, you are carried away by them. One harsh word, one moment of doubt, one judgment from someone else, and your peace can vanish unless you've learned the art of inner control. Mastery is not about never feeling pain. It is about not letting pain dictate your path. It's about knowing that storms may come, but you have learned how to stand in the rain without losing yourself. Inner mastery begins with awareness. When you observe your thoughts without judgment, you start to see the patterns that shape your life. You begin to notice how fear disguises itself as logic, how doubt hides behind caution, how anger often masks sadness. This awareness is power because you cannot change what you do not notice. Each time you choose reflection over reaction, you are building strength from within. It may not be visible to others, but it transforms everything about you. The woman who controls her mind controls her destiny. It is easy to blame the world for your unrest, to point at people, circumstances, and failures as the cause of your pain. But mastery begins the moment you stop doing that. The moment you take full responsibility for your inner state, life begins to shift. You realize that peace is not something you find outside. It is something you cultivate within. Practice. You stop expecting others to make you feel whole, and instead you become the source of your own balance. That is the moment you begin to rise, quietly, steadily, powerfully. Inner mastery also means mastering your emotions. It does not mean suppressing them, but understanding them. Anger, sadness, fear, they are not enemies, they are messengers. They reveal what needs healing, what needs boundaries, what needs acceptance. When you listen to your emotions without letting them control you, you transform pain into wisdom. The storm inside you becomes a teacher, not a threat. You begin to understand that every emotion is temporary. It comes to show you something, and once you learn, it leaves. This understanding gives you freedom. You no longer run from discomfort, you grow through it. The woman who has mastered herself no longer seeks approval because she no longer doubts her worth. Her calmness unsettles those who live in noise, and her silence speaks louder than any defense. She does not need to prove who she is because she knows. Her energy commands respect without demanding it. That is the power of inner mastery, the peace that comes from knowing that nothing outside you can disturb what you've built inside. In this mastery, you will discover something sacred. Control is not about domination, it's about surrender. When you stop resisting life and start flowing with it, you stop wasting energy on what you cannot change. You learn to trust timing, to trust lessons, to trust yourself. You stop chasing outcomes and start nurturing presence. That is when you realize mastery is not about becoming perfect, but about becoming peaceful in your imperfection. When you learn to master your inner world, you no longer chase balance. You become it. You walk through chaos with grace, through pain with understanding, and through silence with strength. And in that stillness, you discover the greatest truth of all, that peace was never something to be found. It was something waiting to be remembered. Deep within you, there is a kind of peace that only comes when you stop sharing everything. In a time where people display their lives like open books, privacy becomes a rare form of power. To keep something sacred is to protect its meaning from being diluted by noise. Sacred privacy is not secrecy, it is wisdom. It is the understanding that some parts of your life are too precious to be exposed to careless eyes or casual conversations. When you learn to hold your experiences quietly, you give them the space to deepen within you, to shape you, to become part of who you are. The most meaningful transformations often happen in silence, away from attention, away from validation, and away from the gaze of the world. The more you grow, the more you realize that not everything needs to be shared. Every dream doesn't need to be announced. Every emotion doesn't need an explanation. Every victory doesn't need an audience. When you share too soon, you invite opinions that can weaken your clarity. Not everyone will understand your path, and not everyone should. Some journeys are meant to be walked in solitude, not because you are alone, but because that is how truth unfolds. Quietly, deeply, and authentically. Privacy allows you to breathe, to process, to listen to your intuition without interference. There is great strength in keeping sacred moments to yourself. When you protect your privacy, you protect your energy. You stop scattering pieces of your life in conversations that don't matter. You begin to see that your personal life is not content for consumption. It is the sacred ground where your spirit grows. The more you guard it, the more peace you find. Privacy builds a quiet confidence, because you no longer need the world to validate your feelings or decisions. You simply know what is right for you, and that knowing becomes your guide. Sacred privacy also protects relationships. When you learn not to involve too many voices in your personal matters, love has the chance to grow undisturbed. Conflict, healing, and reconciliation are sacred processes. They lose their strength when exposed to opinions. The people who truly care about you, you don't need to know every detail of your life. They can feel your truth in the way you live. Keeping certain moments private doesn't make you distant, it makes you wise. It shows that you understand the value of emotional space. There is beauty in a life that doesn't need constant display. When you no longer feel pressured to prove or perform, you begin to live more freely. You notice the small moments that others overlook: a peaceful morning, a kind gesture, a silent prayer. Privacy makes these experiences richer because they belong entirely to you. They are not shaped by judgment or comparison. They are pure. The more you protect these moments, the more meaning they hold. You begin to realize that life's most beautiful experiences do not need to be seen to be real. Sacred privacy also means protecting your spiritual growth. The world often rewards visibility, but growth thrives in stillness. When you nurture your soul quietly, your transformation becomes genuine. There is no pressure to appear wise, no need to impress, no fear of being misunderstood. You grow because it feels right, not because it looks good. And in time, that quiet growth becomes a powerful light that doesn't need to speak. It simply radiates. There will be people who mistake your privacy for secrecy or your silence for pride. Let them. The ones who understand you will know that silence is your sanctuary, not your weapon. They will sense that behind your calm presence lies a heart that has learned the value of peace. When you master the art of sacred privacy, you stop explaining your choices, you stop oversharing your emotions, and you start trusting your inner voice completely. The more you protect what is sacred, the more sacred your life becomes. Privacy is not about hiding, it is about honoring. It is a promise you make to yourself to keep your heart safe, your energy pure, and your peace undisturbed. When you learn to hold your life gently, quietly, and intentionally, you discover that what's private is not small, it is powerful. And in that sacred space of privacy, you finally meet the calmest, truest version of yourself.